Okay, thanks for watching. I just want to show you quickly how we did the spreadsheet so that you've got something to refer to in addition to your notes, so that you can complete this exercise for this week, which means you'll be ready for next week when we come to doing the bit for the summative assessment. This will also help those of you that didn't manage to come today. So in the Hospitality Operations Moodle site, if you scroll down, come to week 3, which is 8th of October to 14th of October, click on Practice Stocktake, and that will open up for you. And then look at the tabs down the bottom. I want you to click on this one, change my name to Stocktake. Click on that one and then scroll up to the top, and you can see in the table we've got the category that item falls into, the item itself, the unit of measurement, the unit price, the opening stock, so that's how much we started with, total purchases, so how many we bought in that stock period, total available, which is blank, we're going to work that out and copy down the formula, closing stock, this is the actual count of the stock you had on hand at the end of that stock period, and then that will give you your consumed value, so your consumed number, and then the next column is consumed value. So in order to find out this column, total available, we select it, and what we need to do is find out how many we opened with and how many we've bought. So it's the sum of this one, opening stock, plus total purchases. So in order to do that function, we type in equals, then we select the opening stock for that one, which is E2, type the plus sign, and then total purchases, then press enter. And if you can see, quite straightforward, it's giving you the number 60, and that's 55 plus 5. Now if you select that one and then hold your mouse down on the bottom right corner and then scroll all the way down to the bottom, it will copy that function into all the cells that you select, just like that. So that's that column completed. Next column is your consumed, that's this one here. Now to get your consumed figure, you want the total of that unit of that item that were available to you minus your closing stock. So 60 minus 42 we know is 18. But if we put the function in, so click on the cell we need, type in equals, then click on the total available cell, minus, click on the closing stock, press enter, that will give you your consumed value, which is 18. Click on that cell, so hold your mouse down and scroll right the way down to the bottom. All the cells that are selected, it will paste that formula in there for you. Final column is the value. So what we mean by this is the consumption value. So click on the cell, and to work out your consumption value, you want the number consumed by the unit price. So we click back, type in equals, click on the consumed times, so use the asterisk button, the unit price, and press enter, and there's your value. So 18 times £1.15 is £20.70. Select that cell, hold your mouse button down, go down to select all those cells, and it will paste that function into those cells. So that's your first tab complete. And if you look, say we change the opening stock figure, this one here, So we had 65 mozzarella cheese. If we change that to 50, that will change the total available to us. It will change the consumed, and it will also change the value. So if you just look at those, look at this one, and look at this one, and look at this one, if by changing that one figure, all the ones I've highlighted will change. Just like that. So that's what we mean by a dynamic spreadsheet. As you change the figures that you need to, the rest of the figures will change with it. Now your next column is consumption totals by category. And that's this column here, column A. So if we look here, we've got total consumption for bread. And all we have to do for that is type in equals sum, open brackets, and then click on that tab, and it's the first two. So it's the value we want. Click on those two, close your brackets. If you look here, that's changing my formula for me. Click enter, and you'll see there £93.15. If you look at these two here, £20.70 plus £72.45 adds up to £93.15. So we do the same for cheese, equals sum, click back on the first tab, cheese is these two, so click on those, close your brackets, again you're looking at up here, press enter, and it will add it up for you. Next one is cooked meat, equals sum, open brackets, into there, and there's only one item. Close brackets, so if you look here, close the brackets, press enter. So I'm going to do the same without saying anything quickly for the rest of them. Okay, so that will give you your consumption by category. And then just in this bottom tab, we want the total. So if I click up on the top right on auto sum, and then press enter, it will give me the total of all these. So we know that consumption is 6149.36. Final one I need you to do is notional stock consumption. So here we've got the unit measure, we've got the unit price, and we've got how many we've actually sold. So this next column is sales cost. We want to work out what the cost of sales for each item was. In order to do that, we select that cell, type in equals, and then it's the number sold times by, so use your asterisk, the unit price. Press enter, and we know we spent £18.40 on bread. Click and hold down in the bottom right of that cell, then scroll down to the bottom, and it will copy that function to all those other cells. So then you've got a monetary value for what you have, the cost of sales for each item. Now, consumed figure, we've already got that, so we just need to copy that from this tab here, because if you look, we've already got consumed here. So back to notional stock consumption, consumed here, we just type in equals, back to the bottom left tab, change my name to stocktake, and then first item is bread, click on that, then press enter. So we know it's 18. So what it's doing is taking the figure from this tab here. And the reason we want it to do that is because if this changes, then this will change automatically with it. So that means it's maintaining the fact that it's a dynamic spreadsheet. So same again, select the tab, bottom right, hold it down, and then scroll down to the bottom, and it will paste into all the other columns. Now we want consumption cost. So that's easy. We've got that here. Or you could do it consumed by your unit price. So let's do it that way now. So click on the cell, equals number consumed, times by, remember that's the asterisk, unit price, enter. And again, hold and scroll all the way down. It will copy those in for you. Next, we want to work out what the consumption variance is. So in other words, if you look, we've sold 16, but we've consumed 18. So we've consumed more than we've sold. So that gives us a consumption variance. So the way to do that is always to minus the sales, get your sales minus the consumption figure. Because that way, if you've used more than you've sold, it will give you a minus figure. So type in the box you want it to be, equals this one here, sales, minus this one here, consumed, and that should give us a figure of -2. So again, for all items, bottom right, hold down, scroll all the way to the bottom, and it'll copy it for you. Now you see most of those have got a 0 variance, so that's good. But if you look here on this cell, you've got -2, so you've consumed 2 kilos more of beefsteak sirloin than you've actually sold. And that's a worry considering you've only sold 1 kilo. But we'll talk about how you can react to that in other lectures. But there are various reasons for why this might happen. We talked in lecture today about eggs, how they're easy to waste, so it's not necessarily a stealing thing. So then we want variance cost. So this is the consumption variance, and we want to work out how much that's actually cost us. So the way we do that is we times the consumption variance by the unit price. So just like before, equals consumption variance times by, use the asterisk, unit price, press enter. So it's cost us £2.30 that variance. If we scroll all the way down, it will copy and paste that function into there. And if you see where there's a minus figure, it gives it to you in red. So that just highlights it for you. If you look here on King Edward potatoes, we've actually got a plus figure. So we've consumed less than we've sold somehow. So that will be a mistake somewhere in the accounting, either with the initial stock take or the opening stock figure, or we haven't got all the purchases in, or we've underportioned when we've sold them. But there's various issues, and we'll talk about those next week in more detail. If you look at this one here, £81.42 in black pudding, that's quite big. So there's really something wrong with that, because we're saying that we've consumed 51 kilos, but only sold 5. So there's something really wrong there. So that's probably a miscount. But again, we'll talk about that next week. So that's all of it. I don't want you to bother about this last one for this week. We'll talk more about that next week. So that's all. So what I suggest you do is you can use this video to go through at your own pace. So you can pause it, rewind it, etc. And I will see you next week.